To whom agree. Greetings and salutations. The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
It's us, Nicole.
And Tessa.
And Kim is here
as the boat.
The river houseboat, Moana. And she's fine with that.
Completely okay with that.
Not a good character to relate to in Cape Fear,
1991. Yes, we are coming to you live and direct from my garage.
We are in Tessa's garage. The Doom Room is no more.
Nope.
And we are kicking off Nightmare November.
Oh, shit. This is a nightmare if I ever heard of one.
It sure as hell is. And I feel like I saw Cape Fear like way too young, like 12 years old.
Oh, for sure. Because my folks loved this movie.
Same.
So, like, they would watch it anytime. It's like Goodfellas. Like, anytime
it was just anytime it was on,
it.
you saw it. Yeah. I've seen it over and over. But
that Goodfellas was the year before that, I feel like, and both Robert De Niro and Ileana Douglas
were in that one. So I had not watched this in a really long time, but I remembered a lot of it because, I mean, I still, as often as possible, say, come out, wherever you are.
Counselor.
You can't say the word counselor without saying counselor.
Come out, wherever you are. And I always say it way more chicken fried than it needs
because
to be.
We just watched it again, so we each watched it on our own, but she had it on when I came over. And yes, he does not say it quite as hick.
No,
as I remember it in my mind.
And I guess like his Max Cady voice really creeped Martin Scorsese out. So
really?
He would call him up and leave him messages as Max Cady. Martin.
Hey, Martin. Come out, wherever you are, Martin. Gina. Damn, Gina. How do you say that in a Max Cady? Damn, Gina.
I don't know.
I
am the Lord or whatever you fucking...
Right?
You, sir, are just a rapist. It's not.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into it.
I know.
I don't know if I ever felt any sympathy for the Max Cady character, but I definitely felt less than I've ever felt.
Oh my God.
In this rewatch. Because there was nothing to feel bad about.
No redeeming qualities whatsoever. I don't give a shit that you learned how to read. Good for you, I guess.
Good for you.
Good for you, I guess.
Illiterate
you
white
were
trash.
exactly where you fucking needed to be.
Yes, you were.
There is no reason for you to be out walking the streets.
No.
You were not wronged.
No.
At all.
In fact, you should probably still be in prison.
I know. They should lock your ass up again if you didn't happen. Whatever happens to you. Spoiler alert. This movie came out in 1991. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
And it also came out in 1962.
And also
so if you haven't seen it.
1962. That one too. There's only there's really only a few differences.
And who did the original?
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
I was
asking
her. I was like, it wasn't Alfred Hitchcock, was it? Because I don't remember it being Hitchcock, but this was
Hitchcock. Like his homage.
Bernstein did the music.
Yeah, and it was also from the original. And that was from the original movie, and also from it was unused in Hitchcock's Torn Curtain.
Oh, okay. J. Lee Thompson made the original? Yeah.
Okay. Which I also watched that one. Oh, okay. I also watched the original one too. It's really good. It's really good. Some of the people that were in it are in this movie too.
Well, the original is on Prime.
Yes, that one is on Prime.
This one I watched free with ads on YouTube.
I watched it on AMC Plus.
Yeah, and once again, for the first 55 minutes, somehow I tricked YouTube into not giving me one single ad.
You were like an ad witch.
But then I paused it and disconnected from my phone, and when I restarted it, I swear to fucking God, I got a commercial every 5 minutes. I was like, are you kidding me?
Because there was also there was ads on AMC as well.
And I fucking AMC Plus?
I had gotten to I mean, not like a lot, and there would be one. It would flash up every once in a while, so it wasn't too bad. But I had gotten all the way to the very, very end. There was 10 minutes left of this movie. They were already out in the boat. Shit's going down. And I paused it, and then I hit on accident start over.
Oh, no.
And you have to watch the ads in the beginning in order to watch it with very few ads throughout. I was like, motherfucker. Oh,
bitch.
Yeah, I was mad.
So let's get into this cast of this Martin Scorsese film.
Martin Scorsese. We have Robert De Niro as Max Cady,
who in the original was played by Martin Balsam, the judge.
No. That was Robert Mitchum.
Lieutenant Elgart is what he plays in this movie.
And
so
he's
we've got
in that one.
three of the original
cast members, and apparently Scorsese also wanted Telly Savalas to come back, but for whatever reason he didn't. Or
I'm too bald.
I've
always been bald since I was born, but I'm too bald today for your remake.
And he could have been either Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that would have been weird.
Willem Dafoe, Brad Dourif, or Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
For Max Cady.
Okay.
They were all also considered.
Brad Dourif's creepy as fuck. I mean, he
sure
could
is.
do it. But
and was
he going to get ripped?
Well, he was fucking amazing in Exorcist 3. Mm-hmm. Brad Dourif is fucking amazing in Exorcist 3.
Defoe could have been good. Defoe could have
creepy
done
as
it.
Fuck.
He
He's
got that.
Sinewy. All he'd have to do is get his dick out.
And you'd be like, whoa, get out of here. The freaking
Get out of here with that dick.
His crime would have been much more sinister with that thing.
Right? Oh my God.
That's a lethal weapon.
It's registered on the books as a lethal weapon.
Nick Nolte. Remember Nick Nolte? Where the fuck he been at as Sam Bowden?
Was he in Lethal Weapon? No.
No,
that's not Lethal Weapon.
Oh,
what
fuck.
was he in?
He's in another 48 hours.
48 hours, yeah.
And
that's
another
right.
48
that's
hours.
That's
yeah.
right. I get all of those mixed up.
And he's Sam Bowden, who was played by Gregory Peck,
who plays the lawyer
Leigh Heller.
Which there's another Leigh. They changed the name. The only ones that still have the same names from the first movie and the second movie is Sam Bowden and Max Cady.
And everybody
else has their names changed. And I don't know why they made the wife Leigh when Leigh Heller is also...
Yeah, they're spelled different, but you don't see the spelling on the screen.
No.
They're both just Leigh.
No, and he could have been... Harrison Ford was the number one choice.
Oh, okay.
To be Sam Bowden. Also Warren Beatty, Jeff Bridges, James Caan, Kevin Costner, Richard Gere, Mel Gibson, Dennis Quaid, Christopher Reeves, and Robert Redford.
Wow, go Nick Nolte. You beat out a lot of big talent.
That's a lot of fucking names for Nick Nolte to beat out.
Names. Oh, Nick Nolte was in Poker Face. I didn't. I watched, I think, the first couple, and then I don't remember if it was like a week-by-week series maybe, and then I was like, I forgot it existed.
See, I know. That's the fucking problem with series is.
Okay.
Well, I also wanted to watch that Russian Doll one. I never watched the Russian Doll one.
I did the same thing with Russian Doll. I saw like the first two, and then I forgot it existed.
Now, is it like done and over with? Because now I'll go watch it. And is it complete?
That I couldn't tell you. I don't know if it ended on a cliffhanger.
If they canceled it and they ended it on a fucking cliffhanger, I will not.
Oh,
bother.
Poker Face is not done. Okay, but I
that
think,
one's not done. But I feel like that one is.
It's like the 80s mystery of the week. Like,
oh, see, now I like that. I like that.
It's different every time.
I like that.
sorry,
Oh,
hey, Ron Perlman
hey,
again.
We know him.
We talked about
Not
him
really,
twice last
but like
month.
we talk about him a lot.
Jessica Lange as Leigh Bowden.
Right, and that could have been Diane Keaton, but wasn't.
That would not have worked.
I know.
No.
I know, Diane Keaton.
Oh my God! Could you imagine with her high neck collar running from Max?
I know.
Trying to seduce Max Cady, but she's unbuttoning like 17 turtleneck buttons.
She's got to get a button hook to get out of her clothes.
She's like, I'm trying to keep you from raping my daughter, but hang on,
her
I need a
double
special
Windsor
tool for
bow
this.
tie knot that she's got fucking going on.
Remove my ascot.
Well, that's probably why they couldn't get there. Like, we can't get her undressed quick enough.
It's
like,
not going to happen.
It's
not going to happen. Juliette Lewis as Danielle or Danny Bowden.
Right, and her only Oscar nominated.
Wow. And she was like 18.
She was 18. She was supposed to be playing 15, and she could have been. Jennifer Connelly and Winona Ryder both turned it down.
Well, because, get your thumb out of my mouth, Robert De Niro.
Well, that was ad lib. They didn't know that shit was going to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait till we get there. You can tell me about it because it's gross.
Yeah. And then it was a further Anyway, it also could have been Shannon Doherty, Bridget Fonda, Jodie Foster, Helen Hunt, Diane Lane, Demi Moore, SJP, Molly Ringwald, Meg Ryan, Brooke Shields, Reese Witherspoon also auditioned.
Okay, all them women can't be the same age. That's a 10-year age difference between
Drew Barrymore
actresses.
bombed her audition. She said she auditioned and she was like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but that I did not get it. It was like a big fucking humiliation. And also, Nicole motherfucking Kidman.
She's too old, right?
Thank you. That's
Was
what
she
they
not
told
like
her.
30 when this movie came
That's what they
out?
told her. They're like, I'm sorry, you cannot be Danielle
Ma'am?
Bowden. Ma'am.
Mrs. Cruz.
Right.
No.
What's your daughter doing?
Right? You can't play 15.
I mean, wait, in 1991 though.
No, but she was in her 20s at least. Mid
Well,
to late 20s.
Well, she doesn't have the face of a child.
No.
Really? Not even then.
As smooth as she is, as porcelain as she is, no.
Porcelain.
She does not look like a child.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so we already did Robert Mitchum, Gregory
Right.
Peck.
Oh, and Gregory Peck, this was his final feature film appearance before his death.
with his
and-
black eyebrows.
I know. Well, he's always had those eyebrows. He was fucking good looking. His grandson, you seen his ass?
No.
Spitting image.
Really?
Spitting image,
hold on, I got my
handsome as
computer
fuck.
in my lap. Hold on.
Spitting image of his
Gregory
grandfather.
Peck.
He's got the eyebrows. That's what it is.
Grandson. Ethan. There's a few. Ethan,
Oh, well-
Harper, Zachary, Christopher.
The eldest, perhaps. I don't know. They probably all look like him.
Okay, this is Ethan.
Or it says it's got to be the. Yeah, he's one
Ethan
of them.
Peck. Okay.
His eyes are a little further apart,
But
but
yeah,
he's got
he do
that.
have those eyebrows.
He's kind of dashing.
Yeah.
Dashing. I think that's the word.
Joe Don Baker as
Mm-hmm.
Claude Kersek.
Martin Balsam, who was also in the original one we talked about as the judge.
Ileana Douglas as Lori Davis.
And Fred Thompson as Tom Broadbent.
And that's all I wrote.
I also have Esther Roll was the uncredited woman watching him crawl out from underneath the car.
Her face. She was just like,
Apparently that was
White
Esther
people.
Roll. I know.
She was
Like, what the
like-
fuck is going on here?
That was
Like,
one
he
way to get a
didn't
cheap ride.
We'll get there. We'll get there. And also Charles and Catherine Scorsese, Martin's parents, were the fruit stand customers.
oh, interesting. I did not
He
know that.
puts them in all of his movies. He just sticks them in there wherever. His mom was actually, she's like been really good in a couple of things that he's done.
If you hear sounds in here, it's
I
'cause
know,
we're in
it's like,
Tessa's
this is-
garage. I hear crickets real
The
loud.
AC is right above this, and it is on.
I
but
didn't
in the
even
house.
notice the crickets until somehow just now my ears
No.
went, oh, there's a
Yeah.
loud ass cricket in here.
Again, we're gonna have to adjust.
Well,
gonna
hey,
have
it
to
keeps
adjust.
for the creep factor. For
Right?
Cape
It's
Fear.
a nightmare.
Crickets.
It's a nightmare. We're in this fucking stuffy ass garage, and it's a nightmare.
So we start.
There's all this imagery, birds of prey and water and Cape Fear and ba 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 ba.
And then Max Cady. Well, first we get a little blurb from
Right,
Juliette Lewis.
About the name and Cape Fear and how like you'd go out on vacation and then reality would come crashing in.
And then we see Max Cady in prison with his truth and justice back tattoos just
And
getting ripped.
apparently, I read, and I don't know if that like he got tattooed, but it said that he had gotten tattooed with like vegetable dye and it faded over time.
Oh,
So did he actually sit there with like
interesting. I don't
and get all
know.
those fucking tattoos?
Because there was quite a few.
There's quite a few, and they're all very prison, and they're all about vengeance
Mm-hmm.
and justice and all of this shit.
And it's his release day.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're getting out, but he don't need none of that shit. I already read all those books. No one's coming to get him. And he walks directly into the
camera. I wrote that the shot with the storm in the
the
background
storm
and
and
right into the lens.
Yeah, like no one. Like,
Kind of reminds me of Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
a little
Pee-wee's
bit.
Big Adventure.
A little bit.
Which makes sense because Danny Elfman copied a lot of Bernstein's music, so that
Okay.
Right. And it's all again very like Hitchcock. This scene, it's all just an homage. Like it doesn't even seem like it's a Martin Scorsese
No.
movie at all.
Not really. Yeah, I kept getting just really.
I had to look it
Hitchcock
up. I was like,
hints.
who
Yeah.
did this movie? Because they're like, this is all Hitchcocky. I was like, oh shit, it's fucking.
Well, that's
duh.
why I was like, did he do the original or something? But no.
No,
He said the
it's
nods
just-
were because it was just
he
his
just-
nod to Alfred Hitchcock.
I guess so. He just really liked it. One of the movies was Marnie, and the other one I cannot remember what the impetus was.
So we meet the Bowdens. Their cleaning lady arrives, and Danny greets her in Spanish. She's been learning Spanish.
Right. They're talking back and forth, and Dad's down at the courthouse.
And you find out Mom's like a marketing design person. She's trying to come up with a new logo for a travel agency.
Right. And she's asking Danielle, like, what do you think? Like, this is what we're, like, trying to invoke and blah, blah, blah. Like an arrow and travel and this and that. And she's like, I don't know.
And honestly, this whole setup between the two of them is unnecessary and does not come up later. The fact that their dynamic is
have
weird.
A weird dynamic.
Yeah,
I
it
guess,
doesn't really come up.
Show.
I mean, of every teenage girl has a weird dynamic with her parents. Like, I don't know.
That's also true. Like, she's 15, but I feel like they all have a weird.
Well, and she made it sound like, because she goes, oh, I'll think of something for this one too. Is she having her teenage daughter make her logos?
Right, and she has the nerve to sit up there and talk about it like it's her life's fucking mission.
Yeah. Because she made it seem like she was trying to get ideas from her teenager. And then she's like, oh, I guess I'll come up with another thing.
And then she has the nerve to ask the dog if her baby was switched at the fucking hospital because she can't come up with a fucking ad, which is your job, ma'am.
Well, and she loves that dog more than she loves her daughter.
Yes, she does. She does. Oh, by the way, you guys, the dog does die.
Yeah, well, it's trigger warning.
Trigger warning, the dog does die.
So, yeah, you see Dad is an attorney. He's leaving court.
Right, and he's over there. Is that his lawyer buddy, or that's Claude, right? Kersek or whatever that he's talking to?
Oh, I don't know. I just put he was an attorney leaving court.
He's an attorney. He's leaving court, blah, blah, blah.
So the family goes to the theater that night.
Yes.
And now she's 15 years old, and your family went to go see Problem Child in theaters?
I guess.
Whose idea? Who wanted to see Problem Child?
In a small fucking town. It's a family film, I guess.
I guess. But, your kid already got caught smoking weed. You really think she wants to go see Problem Child?
Because she's high as fuck.
Is that why? Because she's the Problem Child?
Oh, foreshadowing.
Do you want to make me crazy like John Ritter?
Right? He's going to fucking be all mad about it. Well, that and, in the original one, they go bowling. Because it's like a happy family. And that's the whole thing is that, I guess, when Scorsese was offered it, because it was originally supposed to be Steven Spielberg.
Oh.
But he was too busy making Schindler's List, which that's way different.
Yeah.
But he would have had... When it was Steven Spielberg, he would have had Bill Murray playing Max Cady.
Shut your fucking mouth.
That's what I read. I did not have that
Bill
on the line
Murray
from Steven himself.
No, it doesn't feel like a Spielberg
really
movie. And Bill Murray, is it a comedy? What's happening?
Girl, I don't know. But when he was attacked.
He saw What About Bob? He's like, he could do
Right?
serious. He
I
can
mean,
do
I
psycho.
guess.
Come on. So this man with the biggest cigar,
It
the
looks like a fucking
cartoonish
turd. He lights
Baby
it up
Herman
with one of those light up with the titties.
with the titties that light up red on the nipples.
I've had those. I bought those because they're fun.
And I know you used to be able to smoke in the theater, but cigars.
Not like this. Not like this.
And I swear they had a smoke machine behind him,
I'm sure.
pumping up the amount of smoke.
Sure.
And yes, that laugh. He thought that John Ritter losing his mind was the funniest thing he'd ever seen.
I feel like he was trying to make himself known.
That, and he hadn't seen a movie in the theater since 1977.
Well, also that.
Maybe he really did think John Ritter was hilarious.
It's a possibility that because he was kind of dumb as fuck, but not dumb as fuck. So maybe
there's a little
cracker
bit of
ass cracker. So perhaps
what?
When was Three's Company?
Three's Company was late 70s or early 80s. So maybe he knew
When he went into jail.
he might have seen Three's
He's
Company
like,
in jail.
Shit. It's Jack Tripper.
So he's making a big spectacle of himself, and they're like, let's just move.
Right. And I thought he was going to hey, can you knock that shit off?
Well, he sort of tapped him on the shoulder, and he just ignored him.
Right.
And so they moved. So afterward, they go to get ice cream, and Danielle's telling her dad, oh, you should just knock that guy out.
Really?
And Leigh's like, oh, yeah, you know how to fight dirty. You do that for a living.
And she's talking about
him being he's a criminal defense attorney.
Well, not anymore. He's an
Or
attorney
he
now.
was,
He
yeah.
used to be Slippery Sam, the defense attorney. That's why he left that because of what happens here, because he couldn't serve the law in that way.
So their bill has been paid.
Oh, shit.
By the man sitting out in his Cadillac, or not Cadillac, Mustang, his convertible, smoking again.
A giant turd.
A giant turd.
It's like he's saging himself. It's like a big old wad of sage.
Something. It's so gross. So
Yeah,
Sam
it's nasty.
spots him, but then a truck passes by and he magically disappears before Sam can go find out what's the deal.
Well, how does that happen? He was parked. Car
I know.
wasn't even on and just boop.
He gone.
I do love that. I do love that when like the thing goes by and they disappear. When the train goes by and they're no longer across the way. I like that. I think they did that in the I feel like they did that in the Simpsons one. I know that we talked about it when Sideshow Bob comes and he like does the whole Cape Fear thing. I feel like they did a thing where he like tries to jump on the back of a bus, but like it was like, oh shit, like I didn't mean to
Kinda
still be there.
sneak.
Oh, I loved it. I love it.
So now we find out about Sam and his sort of affair with the clerk from the court.
He's
Ileana
playing
Douglas.
squash, and
Yeah.
he's already like way too handsy and familiar with this very young gal.
And he's like, and he mentions, well, we haven't done anything yet. Or because first
she
he's like, we
says,
need to
she's
stop
like-
doing this for a while.
She's
And she's
like,
like,
what?
stop
We haven't
what?
done anything, but you know exactly
And
what's
he's like,
going
you don't know
on,
what it's
ma'am.
like to be married.
He tries to school her on being married. Like, sir, I don't think you're very good at it, to be honest with you.
But she is playing dumb as hell. Like,
I
you don't know
know.
that this isn't okay.
You know what the fuck is happening here, Ileana Douglas.
Ma'am, you're aware that
You
if his
are
wife
aware.
walked into your little squash game with his
She
arms
would
wrapped
not
around
be
your
fucking
waist.
happy. And then she has a nerve, even though none of the things that happened to her necessarily deserve to happen to her. She has a nerve to be like, well, your wife called me nothing. And
Because he's like, my wife doesn't know you exist.
right?
Like, why would I talk about the young, pretty girl who works in the
Right.
fucking
Of course
clerk's
I don't
office?
talk about you at home. Like, she knows what she's fucking doing. She knows what she's fucking doing.
And so he goes to leave. He goes to start his car, and suddenly Max reaches over from outside the
Takes
window
the
and takes his
keys.
damn keys out the ignition.
Uh-huh. And is like, oh, hey.
Could it be you don't remember me?
Yeah. He's like,
I know you from the movies. He's like, no. Max Cady.
before.
And he's like, no.
I don't know. And
14
really,
years ago. And he's
you
like,
do not remember
He
this fucking
remembers.
character?
right?
Like, this does
Just that
not ring
face?
any bells to you. Like, even in the theater, I feel like I'd be like, oh,
Well, he
fuck.
only saw like the back of his head in the theater. He didn't turn around.
I
and
don't
look at
know.
him.
I feel like the type of person that Max Cady is would stick with you after a while.
You would think so. So, he remembers him now, and then he's like,
Oh,
I
shit.
spent 14 years in jail. And, like, he doesn't say right then because of you. He's just
Right.
like,
He's
I'm gonna settle down in your town.
Yeah,
I'm
like
out
I
of
like
jail.
it here. I'm like here, I'm free, I'm out, and this is a really nice place. And where else can I run into
An old
friend,
colleague or whatever.
And he's like, the
"What?
fuck you talking about?
I'm a lawyer. You're a criminal. He's like,
Right?
I don't think he tells him yet. Like he tried his
No.
own, whatever his
Right, because he's
parole
trying
things.
to snatch his keys, and he's like, who the fuck is this guy? And like,
So back at home, it's almost 4th of July, which we did not remember. This could have been a
I
4th
know,
of July
this-
movie.
it really
We're always
could've.
struggling to
it
find a
does
4th
not
of July
go with
film.
the sci-fi theme, though.
No.
That's a little spoiler for you.
And Danielle's working on her homework while Dad's twiddling on the piano.
Well, we also did forget to mention that when Max Cady walks off, he's like, I'm going to teach you about loss.
Right. Well, because
He's
he
like,
doesn't.
"What?"
He doesn't really hear what he says right
No.
then, and neither did I. But he's about to bring it up again when he
Well,
goes
you know
to
me
talk
and my
to his
sub
boss.
titties, it
Yeah,
came right up.
I don't got the sub titties on. So now here, the Hitchcock shots right now of like,
Yeah, the
he's
split
brushing his
screen
teeth
and
and she's
whatever.
like split screen behind him
For
talking
a second,
to him.
I was like, is this Brian De Palma again? Because the
got
split
some-
screen, he could have had me fooled. Because this is when I started thinking, is this not only these homages to Hitchcock, but also like, is it just other directors? Because some of it gives me like Roger
Maybe.
Corman with the flashes of the color and all
Mm-hmm.
of that stuff. And then the split screen thing made me think, which, who knows, Brian De Palma might be also doing a Hitchcock thing with that.
Thing too, so maybe like a noir, a nod.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the,
a nod to noir film
noir
kind
type
of.
films. Like it's all very much that, and none of it really. It doesn't give the same vibe necessarily as much as the original.
Oh, really?
I feel like the this gives more Night of the Hunter than the original Cape Fear, which is also Robert Mitchum. I feel like it gives that more, like that if you could compare the two.
Yeah.
And now, why do they get all horny after she's talking about like incest and
I
bestiality?
know, like she goes like, oh, she got caught smoking pot, like because at first I was like, oh, she's got to go to summer school, like I had to go to summer school, like that just happens sometimes. And it was like, oh, it was either that or get expelled. I'm like, what the fuck did she
for
do?
smoking weed.
She had pot at school, and like neither of her parents really seem to be that worried about it.
No.
Like, oh, you did it, I did it.
But
Who gives a
apparently, you
fuck?
find out later they really yelled at her.
Yeah, they really yelled as you would when your kid gets like, why are you taking it to fucking school?
That's what I got. I didn't get yelled at, but when I got caught taking it to school, that's what my mom said is, what is wrong with you?
Right?
You
How
don't take
fucking
it to
dumb.
school.
You don't take it to school.
That was all I was in trouble for.
Yeah.
I was like, you idiot.
Right? You're in trouble for getting caught. That's fucking dumb. Now they're looking at me.
And now, so mom and dad have sexy times after talking about how, it's at least she didn't get in trouble for incest or bestiality or
She's
murder
like, it's
or
right
whatever.
up there with all of the most terrible things, and that gets them all hot.
And they have this and we get this black and white negative zoom in on their wedding rings, holding hands.
Like it's
and
all
like,
a very,
it's very
like, dreamy sequence. This fucking fireworks situation going. What time is it?
I know this lighting is going on forever.
I mean, like we get them out here like very frequently before and
but this
after.
is
and
pre
New Year's
4th
and
of
whatever,
July.
but
People
this
are
is
doing the full on
where you could see it right outside your windows.
enough to wake her up post coitus and put on her nighttime frosty lipstick to go have a
She's
smoke
like
on the
having a
patio.
little
What the
fucking-
fuck?
She's let her feel her oats. Why aren't you letting her feel her oats right now?
I'm gonna go home tonight.
Lange, but the whole time you're telling the story, I can't not think Diane Keaton.
Oh,
I
now
know,
because we mentioned
right?
Diane Keaton,
Could you
you're
imagine
imagining that?
Diane Keaton with her high neck nightgown?
In my head, it's Diane Keaton.
She wears a hat to bed.
Oh my god, a nightcap.
She wears a nightcap. She's got her kerchief in her cap.
And then she
She's
gets
got
up
the
at
little
midnight to put
candle.
on her frosty pink lipstick and have a
Yes.
cigarette.
I know. She like looks out on the veranda out on the lanai or whatever the
And
fuck that is.
there to Max B on
Oh,
the wall outside.
bum, bum, bum. He's like sitting out there. The fireworks are still happening. How long did he last?
Right?
They're still doing
30
a lot
seconds.
of
No, I was kidding.
and he was out.
He was.
That's why she had to get
gone.
up to fucking put her frosty pink lipstick on. She had to take herself on a date.
Yes, she
Finish
did.
herself off.
She went and got her vibrator and a cigarette, and she went.
You
on
know
the
what?
lanai.
Lori lucked out. Well, no, Lori did not luck out, but Lori dodged a bullet in that way.
Yeah.
Because Sam does not seem like a very attentive lover. All that
No, he does
hand
not.
grabbing and whatever. You can't fool me. They're still doing fireworks outside.
Right? So she goes and wakes up Sam like, oh, that there was a man out there, and he goes and yells, but he's gone. He's like, I want you the hell off my property.
Who the fuck it is because he was
He
like,
just now tells her, oh, by the way,
there's this guy.
who I
he-
put.
like,
I didn't put him in jail, but
No,
like,
I defended him, but he was there for assault.
and I don't know what he said earlier, but he said something about loss. So like,
Hey, dum-dum, he was just sitting out on your back fucking wall. My mind immediately, I don't give a fuck, defense attorney, prosecuting attorney, whatever the fuck your whole thing is, that man should not be sitting on my fucking wall.
No.
Ghost on your wall.
and she's like, why did
shaking
he go
his
to jail?
balls.
And he's like, oh, I don't remember. It was a
I
long time
know.
ago. Assault.
Immediately tell your wife, if you are worried about what he could do to your wife and your daughter, make them aware.
But instead of doing that, he
No.
goes to his boss
Yes.
and tries to tell him, and the boss is like, yeah, he's not breaking the law. Like, I don't know what you
he
want me to
was, like,
do.
Right. He's not coming into your house. He was on like public property, essentially.
And then we find out that Sam does remember Max Cady.
Of course he does,
It
because
was a sexual battery case.
if you had seen what he'd done to this teenage girl, 16-year-old girl.
Uh-huh.
And so it turned out that the 16-year-old girl was
Promiscuous, which is a word we don't use anymore.
No, that's fucking stupid.
That's slut shaming.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that here.
When
But
I'm sorry, a 16-year-old
I know,
girl who's
she's
promiscuous,
promiscuous.
she's been abused, y'all.
Right? And this is going to get him off?
Right. So
In a
putting
court
in a
of
report
law?
in a court of law that a 16-year-old was promiscuous was all it was going to take for Max Cady to go free.
I know, when he
She's
couldn't
still
read
16
yet.
and you beat her up.
Especially if he's talking about if you would have seen what he'd done to her.
Right. So it's like it's not like statutory rape.
No,
like
it's not
I
like
had
they
a
hooked
quote
up.
unquote consensual relationship with a
Sure.
16-year-old. Like
Sure.
like he could have had
Of course.
with his daughter.
Exactly.
But no, this was like he full on raped a girl and they're like, "Oh, but she was
And
promiscuous."
beat the shit out of her, but she was promiscuous, so he would have gotten off. So anyway, Sam decided
He
rightly
buried that
so,
report because he's like,
Because it's
no,
fucking
this piece of
stupid.
shit belongs in jail.
Absolutely,
which he does.
He totally does.
We're
It's
not
like
for
he-
cops.
No, we're
not
not.
for prison necessarily.
No,
but when
we're
you're
not.
raping people,
You can't be out here
Teenagers,
raping people. That's all I'm
you
saying.
can't be
You
doing
can't
it.
be out here doing this shit. Max Cady deserved to be
Yes.
where he was.
And instead of his boss going, yeah, I totally understand. His
No,
boss
he's
was
like, whoa,
tisk,
Sixth
tisk, tisk.
Amendment.
You
know better than that. And he's like, I know. That's why I'm not a
buried
fucking
the
defense
report.
attorney anymore.
Buried the report. Oh. You know what?
Bitch, shut
Sir,
up.
Shut up. Jesus.
What if this was
he says,
your
Jesus,
daughter?
Sam. What?
Oh, you're so offended?
And then he's like, well,
he should have showed
couldn't
him
know.
pictures of that little girl.
Yeah. He's like, well, he couldn't know. He was illiterate. Like, I had to read everything to him. Like, he can't
Exactly.
know that I buried this report.
No, he doesn't know. I put it all away, buried the whole fucking thing, never brought it up again.
So now back to Leigh trying to tell Danny basically stay away from this guy. And she's like, well, is he a flasher or just a peeper? You think I don't know about these things?
They are not taking this.
He's not a flasher or a peeper. He's gonna
He's
hurt you.
Rapist.
I'm gonna hurt you.
I'm gonna hurt you.
He's
Tonight,
gonna go old Greg on your ass.
I'm gonna hurt you.
He says it under his. That's like
Right.
You're gonna learn about
I'm
laws.
gonna learn about law.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna hurt you.
And she's like, look, just hang out by me. Don't go
Right.
outside. Just stop
I
being
told
a
you
fucking
why.
15-year-old.
Yes. Stop immediately
Being 15.
being 15 with your retainer in your mouth and that fucking shitty attitude. Stop it.
And then here he come again, rolling up on Sam. Afternoon counselor. He says like he got a retainer in.
Counselor.
And he's out there checking out this gaggle of high school honeys. Like, oh, they're great at that age, aren't they?
Gross.
My own daughter thinks I'm dead.
Yeah, I got a daughter around that age. She thinks I'm dead, my old lady. My wife and daughter.
You have a teen. Okay, that means that when you raped a teenager, you had a baby infant daughter.
Yep.
And now that you're planning to rape another 15-year-old.
And whoever.
You got a daughter that could be like in school with her.
I know.
You fucking pig. You fucking
I
piece
know.
of
Disgusting. You were right where you needed to fucking be.
Yes.
14 years wasn't fucking long enough.
No, it was
They
not.
should have put your ass under the goddamn jail.
And Max is in his yacht rock top dollar finest.
Oh my God.
Driving his land boat.
Sailing.
I don't know why he's dressed like this.
I know. He looks like his name is Lange.
Because you said it's like North Carolina.
It's North Carolina. They're on the river.
And like, yeah, I know there's river, but like, you got your captain's hat on, really?
Hey, what was that? It's boats. He's the
Boats?
captain of the boat.
Boat
He's a
captain?
skipper. He a skipper.
And Sam's like, look, why me? I defended you.
I
Why
know,
not? Why not the DA or the judge? And he's like, oh, they were just doing
Oh.
right by their job.
They just had to do their jobs, and everyone was trying to do their job. But I don't think you were doing your job because you see, did you know I represented myself?
to the parole board 6
Right.
times.
I learned to read while I was in prison, and now it's just you and me, 2 lawyers, talking to each other, which means
and he talks about I had to get in touch with my feminine
right.
side.
Ever been a woman?
What is the compensation for being sodomized by 4 men? So he never clearly says
No.
I was sodomized by 4 men.
No.
But my interpretation is the reason he's after this dude is because he was repeatedly sodomized
Oh,
in
he
prison.
got done to him what
Oh,
he had
I'm
done
sorry.
to somebody else. Like, not that
Being
it's
raped
right.
isn't nice.
Oh, that's awful. Did you now realize,
And the-
wow, this hurts. I shouldn't do this to other
But
people.
yet the lesson you learned was it's the lawyer's fault.
Right.
No.
Right.
No,
No,
Max.
Max Cady. No.
Bad. I'm going to hit you with
Bad.
a rolled up
Smack.
newspaper. So he goes, look, I'll give you money. Like, what do you want?
Right,
10
what do you
grand.
want?
And he's like,
Oh, fuck. Let's break it down. Like, even 50 grand, let's break it down. That's like $10 a day.
that's not even minimum wage.
Oh, blah, 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 blah,
But
blah.
then his alarm goes off on his watch and he's like, boop, I got another
I'm late
appointment.
for another appointment. Bye.
So Sam's back at work and his wife calls. It's urgent. Cut to him racing home all serious.
Oh,
Her dog is dead.
right.
And
she's-
she gives an Oscar-winning.
Oh my God! Like first I was screaming, just died.
Yeah, he was just winding down
Like an old clock.
So the vet said he was poisoned.
Right, he died before the vet even got there. Vet said he was poisoned. Well, what kind of poison, motherfucker? I don't know.
And they get in like almost a physical
I
fight
know.
over her not knowing what kind of poison. And Danny runs out of the room.
Like, he goes, "Would you leave the door open?"
I didn't leave the door open.
What is with all the victim blaming in this movie?
I know there's a lot of
lot.
victim blaming in this movie. You know
There's
what?
a
That's
lot.
what the nightmare is in this movie.
Yes.
Is the victim blaming in this movie.
So Sam finally goes to the cops. He goes to Lieutenant Elgart about the dog poisoning, and
She
he's
goes
like,
up there to listen to patients first of all to like drown this out while watching the been caught stealing video.
"Yeah, no, wait, that's later.
Or is
I
that
have a note
No, 'cause
later.
there
I
was
think
another one.
because she went up to her room and did something, but I have another
when
note
they
where I
do
wrote
the whole
Jane's addiction
bop, bop,
video.
bop. Yeah.
So he goes to Lieutenant Elgart, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll bring him in." And they let him sit in on the like strip search of Max Cady.
I know, because he's got friends there, I guess.
Not
like,
even the
because-
questioning. And like, was the strip search necessary?
Well, because they're just trying to make it really uncomfortable for him to be there. Like, we could get at you for any reason.
I guess. So I don't know whether to look at him or read him because he's got so many tattoos.
Of course, because, that's how... And in fact, when he talks about, like, we could bust him for vagrancy and all this other shit, Robert Mitchum was actually busted for vagrancy
Oh, really?
in vagrancy times.
So they searched his apartment. He's clean. But they
Oh.
found his bank book.
Oh, fuck, he's
You guys
also got
remember
money.
a bank book?
He has a bank book.
He got $30,000 in his savings account.
His mama died while he
Yep.
was in prison,
And he
which
got
is
the-
another thing he lost. And he got the farm, sold the farm.
And
Now he's got money.
He's
Well,
like,
fuck.
well, so you let your dog out. And he's like, well, no, we didn't let the dog out. And he's like, so Katie went in your house. And he's like, well, no.
I don't know if he let him. I don't know. I can't.
He's like, well, that ain't enough. And then
Right.
he gets to see Max Cady's sexy bikini underwear.
I know these fucking flashy, fucking
Red zebra print or
right,
something.
you
I don't
can
know
see
what.
that like you see all of his tattoos. That's all about the vengeance and whatever. And Loretta and a scary, silly clown.
Loretta, you broke his heart.
Loretta, you broke Max Cady's heart.
Good for
Right?
you,
Good
Loretta.
for you, Loretta. I'm so glad you did that.
So the Bowden family goes to the 4th of July parade.
Oh yeah.
And Max
yeah.
is there
sure standing
watching
across
him from
the way.
across the parade route.
And fucking Sam, he's staring at you,
Since when do you care someone's staring at your wife?
and he's wearing mirrored shades.
Right? How
What
can
do
you tell?
You can't tell what he's fucking staring at. So he crosses
Through the
parade
marching band.
route just and causes a fucking scene. Like, I know you're in your little like town or whatever, and you're like semi-respected. And again, I can't imagine why anyone's taking his fucking side, but they do. And like cause a
But he
fucking,
makes himself seem
Right.
like the aggressor,
Exactly,
insane,
like, you're
because
not
he's
doing
just
a very
standing
good
there.
job.
Max
Yeah.
is just standing there.
He's not doing anything. He's just standing there.
And
he's like,
these
"I'm just
people
watching
don't
the
know
parade."
Max. As far as they know, he's
No.
just some regular dude who's just
Right,
watching
and
the parade.
Here comes angry ass Sam Bowden over here to fucking bust his head.
And so he goes, so they take off, whatever, and he goes to the bar. And tell me this is not a Spider-Man shirt. What is this shirt Max Cady is wearing?
like that red and yellow, and
But it's
black
got the
and-
black print that looks like
Uh-huh.
fucking Spider-Man
It's palm
print.
trees, but it looks
Is
like
it?
because it's his yacht wear.
No, not that one. This is a different print. Not the red and yellow and black and
oh.
white. He's got a red with just black
Oh.
print, but it looks like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it might be for all
I don't
know.
think it is,
It's
but
one
it-
of those like the dragon bowling shirts.
Yes. So he goes to the bar and he meets Lori.
Oh,
You remember
shit.
Nick Nolte's little side piece, county clerk?
Lori, and she
And
is
she's drunk
loose.
as hell.
She is loose because she has been stood up.
I'm stuck on a man who was married. And
She
he
just
stood me
spills
up.
all the fucking tea to
he's
this
like, "Oh, yeah?"
stranger who's not drinking.
And he's like, I was just released from prison. And she's like,
"Oh,
that's hilarious.
Oh my God. But really, what did you do? Because she tells him a joke she wants to tell a little jokey joke about how this man went to prison. He chopped up his wife into 52 pieces. And she's like, so you're single? And he was like, she goes, well, what'd you do? He's like, I chopped my wife up into 52 pieces. Like, oh, I was afraid you were going to say that. Ah.
So you know what? I'm going to take you home with me.
Right. Well, do they go back to her place or his place?
I think it was her place.
Oh, I thought it was his spot.
Oh,
maybe,
no,
'cause it
because
looked
somebody
like
would
in
have
a-
had to come pick up her fucking
That's
beat up
true.
ass from
That's
his house.
her
So like,
beat up ass. But so yeah, spoiler alert. That's
and he
what's
even
about to
warns
happen.
her. And now let me give you the Marilyn Manson lesson.
Oh,
when the
boy.
words that come out of his mouth say,
Right.
"Stay away from me, stay sober,
Right.
I'm an animal, I'm a murderer," fucking walk away.
She did not.
He's not
deserve
trying to be
this.
hot. No, she did not
But
deserve
there
this.
were better choices.
There were
to
better
have been
choices to be made. You do not
in
take
this
home
moment.
a greasy-haired stranger who tells you he just got out of prison, even if he says it was because of a protest march.
I know, he lies to her and tells her what it's about.
That he beat up a cop for beating up a girl at a protest march.
I mean,
no, he did
who
not.
hasn't taken home a greasy-haired stranger? But not one that said that they had just
I've never taken one home.
Well,
I might have made out with a greasy-haired stranger in a bar, but I didn't take them to my house.
Well,
you gotta learn that lesson. So they get in bed. She's still laughing maniacally through this whole exchange.
This was her idea. She was supposed to immediately freak out when he busts out those handcuffs, but it was
like,
her idea to go along
funny.
with, like, oh, it's funny, even though it's not.
But he just immediately starts fucking her shit up. And he like dislocates her shoulder and bites her fucking cheek.
He did that. That was his suggestion because he did research on sex crimes and what these kinds of things sometimes entail. And she based her performance off of the Jennifer Levin, the preppy murder.
Oh, I don't know about that.
The guy, he tried to say that she wanted to do it rough in Central Park, but he like flipped her over his whatever and like broke her fucking neck. Like, it was all like a whole thing, but he defamed her. It was like a whole thing.
Okay.
The preppy murders. Look at it.
So yeah, he bites a chunk out of her cheek. He beats the shit out of her. And before we find out whether she survives, now is a good time to take a break.
I would agree with that.
We'll be right back.
Eventually, that water heater is going to go.
That's your warning because we're back and her water heater's making sounds.
The kid's in the shower, so when he's done, it's going to go.
Be warned. Yes, and then the cricket will be back.
I know.
It's quiet right now.
Oh, it's not doing it right now. It's because the water heater's acting up.
So the cricket shut up because the water heater's making sound.
Sure.
So Sam's playing his twiddling on a little piano at home, and the key's not working.
Oh, what the fuck is going on here? And
there's wires missing. Come on.
Come on.
And this was unnecessary. Like, yes, later, spoiler, someone's going to get fucking killed by a piano wire, but like
that didn't.
It didn't need to happen.
I know, but that didn't tip you off. This like who
removes an entire wire out of your piano?
It's not in there broken.
And like his daughter or his wife got into the piano and took out a wire.
Clearly, Max Cady has been in your house and he removed a fucking piano wire from your fucking piano. You fucking stupid ass.
But the phone rings and it's Lieutenant. Katie's raped another girl.
Oh shit! Come down here. I think we might have something.
And his wife's like, I thought you said it was battery. Oh
well,
sexual battery of a 16-year-old girl.
It was like a fucking,
So he goes down there and finds out that the neighbors heard screams and they saw Max Cady's plates, but the girl is scared and she claims she fell down some stairs. Stairs bit your face off?
Yes, stairs bit her face off.
All right. And Sam comes into the hospital room and lo and behold,
it's
Lori.
Because he did not know that until he got there.
And the cop's like, oh, you guys know each other?
Hold up. And she's like, don't look at me.
Don't look at me. You stood me up and you didn't call and I was feeling reckless and I went to the bar. And
Lori,
he's like, look, if I had known.
If I had known that he would have come after you, I would have probably warned you or something. I don't know. I'm really sorry.
I'm warning my wife.
Right. I'm not even warning my wife and my kids, so don't feel so hot about it.
I haven't shown them a photo. No. It described what he looks like, described his fire red convertible Mustang.
Right. He's
dressed a rapist.
As a yacht sea captain.
And he hasn't even done the full-on, I'm the man of the house, you just listen to me and you do what I say. Like, he's just very nonchalantly.
How the
importance, got scared by your water heater.
Oh, there goes
or
the
your
AC
air conditioner.
Again. Yeah, it's literally on top of us. We are right underneath. I didn't think about any of that shit.
Nope.
Look at my socks.
I know. We decided we were like, should we record inside or should we record in the garage? And we were just like, was that bale of hay I gave you up in the rafters?
That's the bale of hay from your grandmother's house.
It's in the rafters. It's a decorative bale of hay for Halloween. For fall. You put your pumpkins on it.
I take that thing down and I'll have a sneezing attack. It has to stay in the rafters where it's safe.
I wonder if I should take it back to the new house with me.
Take it back.
Put some pumpkins on it.
You could.
Out on my deck.
You need a bale of hay. You're going to make critters come if you want to see critters.
That's how I got to do it.
Crack open that bale of hay. It's even fucking
bale of hay
pristine,
for them.
Still wrapped in plastic bale of fucking hay.
pristine. So anyway, he finally tells her, oh, this guy's done this before. He's going to keep doing it, but you got to testify. And she's like, I know how this works. I work for the court.
I work there every fucking day.
Because guess what?
Shit.
If you get raped, guess who's on trial? You too.
You are.
Because why were you drunk at the bar alone as a single feminine person?
Who was this person? You
just let this man come back to your house? Well, you got what you deserved.
Right? How did you not know that something like this could happen?
So, yeah, that's why people don't testify.
Right? She's like, I'm not going to have them fucking ask me questions.
In front of people she works with, yeah.
I don't want to be cross-examined by people that I work with that are going to laugh about this shit later on, because I know they do.
Yeah.
Nah.
So Elgert shows up and he implies that this is something personal with Sam, the girl, and Katie. What? Like what? They have some sort of weird love triangle? He's like, if this is something personal.
Like, maybe there's other ways to handle this, though.
And he's like, what? No, it doesn't have anything to do with her. This is just.
But it do, though.
And then Elgert says some weird cryptic shit to him, which Sam interprets to mean, so you want me to use my family?
You know, you go hunting, you got to get them to come to you. He's like, wait a minute.
Are you trying to tell me to use my family as bait?
No, I don't know about all that. I'm just saying, like, you know.
You must have misunderstood me.
Right. He's like, you got me all fucked up. He's like, as an officer of the law, I cannot advise you to take the law into your own hands.
So Sam locks up super tight that night, and then he goes to Kersek, who's a PI.
Right, and he tells him about, like, Katie's crimes and all this shit, and he's like, wait a minute. Don't you have a daughter that's about the same age as the girl that was raped in this trial that you fucked up, and that's why he's mad at you? Like, hello?
So at the dinner table that night, Leigh's assuring Danny, it's all going to be fine. Daddy got a PI, which I think she's being a smartass.
I know, I don't know.
I couldn't tell if she was being a smartass or not.
It's a weird situation. Like I said, Martin Scorsese decided that he did not want this family happy, so he made this family weird.
And like, I feel like it would have been more of a satisfaction to Max Cady to disrupt a very happy family.
Right.
Than to just fuck up an already on their way to being fucked up family.
Right, because I feel like in the original, like the family was happy. They were fine. They had gone out bowling instead of going to a movie. They were like on the same bowling team together, and they had oh, daddy.
Yeah.
And like all this, you know, whatever. It was all good.
Maybe he's doing that no perfect victim.
I maybe
guess.
Like the whole thing about being on trial and all that other stuff. Perhaps.
So Kersek calls to tell him about this man that Katie brutally killed in jail.
Yeah. Or no, did he kill him or did he just break his leg?
Maybe he just, I put killed, but maybe he just
injured
fucked
him or whatever.
Up.
Well, he was like, look, there was this guy that like used to harass him about the cigars that he was still allowed to smoke these turds in prison.
Who was mailing him these turds in prison?
He was getting them on the prison telephone line. An upper decker.
It's like that. I don't know his name, so I can't shame him, but that kid at your kid's birthday party. The cigar.
Oh my God.
Of that fucking.
Oh, that's right. That almost destroyed my plumbing.
This small child that somehow almost broke Tessa's plumbing.
Oh my God.
It was like one of those.
It was a whole situation.
It was a poop knife situation, y'all.
It was. I was like, I fear I need a poop knife.
It's going to happen.
I don't know what I need, but I need something. I'm going to have to call somebody. Who'd have thunk?
Need to require each kid bring their own
Right? I was like, you have to bring your own poop knife if it's necessary.
BYOPK.
Next time that kid comes over, be like, hey, did you bring your poop knife this time?
Could you imagine? There's two kinds of kids. Either he's going to turn purple and he's going to run home, or he's going to be like, yo.
You know what? Hold on. Let me call
You know
my
what, lady?
dad.
I'm about to fuck up your toilet again.
Know.
That's his nickname now, Poop Knife.
Poop
Knife. I'm
knife.
about to call him Poop Knife.
So subject's on the move. So Kersek was out there watching Katie, and now Katie's on the move. He tells him, subject's on the move, get a good night's sleep. What? Kersek?
I know.
What?
Go ahead. Night, night. Sleep good.
And Sam goes to his bedroom telephone to call Lori at the hospital to apologize. And Leigh's just standing right there. We get this other Hitchcock shot of her like in the reflection. Watching his ass like,
and she's like, I don't know what's worse. That fucking stupid fucking tone of yours or your sophomoric infidelities.
Oh, was that the girl who got beat up? And he's like, yeah, I already told you. She's
I
a
know,
clerk at the court. Oh, and you're fucking her?
No.
And that's why
No.
that psychopath chose her?
No.
He's like, no.
It's just because I know her.
And she starts just
I
losing
know.
her. She's
like,
punching
"You
the shit out of him.
motherfucker."
And that's when Danny hears
Right.
it, runs to her room, and turns on a Jane's Addiction video, but then turns on Guns N' Roses Patience.
You know what? Because it was Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro out there fighting.
Oh, she had to tune it out. She had to tune it out with some patience. There's a little patience. Yeah. You guys heard Axl Rose singing lately? Worse.
Yeah, I do that, yeah.
Like no voice.
Patience.
It's terrible.
Mama Fratelli.
Mama Fratelli. Oh, so Leigh
He's got
wants,
the whistle part still, I bet.
Yes. Leigh wants to know, why did you bother uprooting your family if you're just going to
I know,
fucking
if you're
keep
just
cheating? So like
If
we
you're gonna
find
continue
out.
doing this shit.
And he's like, well, I mean, you were being really weird.
What?
And I was worried to leave.
You were like not getting out of bed, and you were like cleaning shit up and like fucking touching my dick, and it was like making me all bummed out that it sounded like you were super fucking depressed.
Well, and she's basically asking him, why didn't you leave me for the last mistress? And he's answering, well, I didn't leave you for the last mistress because you seemed really bummed about it.
I know, like you weren't. Why didn't you? She's like, you don't have the fucking balls to walk out of here. Just leave if that's what you're gonna fucking do.
And I'm sorry, who would be losing their shit over Nick Nolte?
I know. First and second of all,
Nick Nolte.
Barbara Streisand.
What was
She's
that?
got James Brolin at home.
Oh yeah, they were in Fisher King. No, Fisher King. No.
Something about water.
Yes, something about water.
On
He was like an alcoholic or something.
Yes, there was definitely a Nick Nolte and Barbara Streisand movie, and I'm blanking on what it was.
Was it a Golden Pond? On Golden Pond?
I don't
Was
think that
it
was
something
it.
about a piss puddle?
Something about a piss puddle.
Ordinary Peoples?
No.
No.
And Danny's on the phone in her room, and she got that Swatch phone.
Yes, she do. She's
I love
like,
that phone.
oh, Donna.
I'm going crazy
I'm
here.
going crazy right now. Like her
Prince of Tides.
There it is.
That's what it was.
It's got water.
I got Fisher King, which was Water and King, but it was Prince and Tide.
I know. So close. Swing
Not
and a
Fish
miss.
and King. Prince
Golden
and Tide.
Pond. Fisher King. Prince of Tide.
Was it The Little Mermaid?
Was it Mermaid?
For 500, Alex.
What is on Golden Pond? Ethel Merman.
Little Mermaid.
Ethel Mermaid. That's her in it.
So back to the parents fighting, and she's like, oh, you thought I was going to kill myself over you?
Right, no,
You
bitch.
pompous ass.
Come on, you're Nick Nolte. I think the fuck not.
So Sam's like, look, this is driving me crazy. I feel like an animal's stalking us, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, finally now. Come on.
Yes. And he wants them to work together. So cut to him sleeping on the couch.
And even still, he tries to fucking sugarcoat this shit. Like, well, now you know. So now we could be a team. And she still puts his ass out. He's there in his fucking polo and his chonies. She didn't even let him get jams.
Nope.
He got no pajamas.
Nope. Just in his, yep.
He
just
doesn't
his
deserve them.
top and little short shorts.
Top
little
and chopping.
pants.
He should have had to like use a fucking throw pillow as a blanket, like a little bitch.
It was just kind of a little blanket because his feet kept sticking out the end. It was just like the
tiny
throw
little
off the
throw.
back of the
Yep,
couch.
Yep, that's all he deserves. He deserves less.
So Kersek's following Max, but Max pays for his lunch. So clearly he's been made.
He's been made, and he goes to tell him such.
And I'm sorry. I guess maybe he's like a Vietnam vet or something,
I
Joe
know.
Don Baker, but who is scared of this man? He tried to come
Nobody.
up all hard like,
He's like
you
Walter.
better get the hell out of my state.
He's like Walter from fucking Big Lebowski.
Yeah, I don't want to see you, hear you, or smell you. And Max is
Right.
like, give me a fucking
He
break,
tells
bro.
a lot of weird, stupid stories, too.
Anytime you feel squirrely, just jump.
It's Froggy, bitch.
And Max like, you threatening me?
Yeah.
You
Are you threatening me?
He does it twice. So Leigh goes for the mail.
It seems like he's an ex-cop for a reason.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what he
sure
tells
that's
him.
what happened. Yeah, like you're an ex-cop for a reason.
I got your vibe.
What'd you do?
So Leigh goes down for the mail, and here comes Cady because he never told her nothing about what he looks like, what car he drives.
Nope. Not what to look out for. Not at all.
And he rolls up with her dog collar in his hand.
This, ma'am. And this was, I guess, her idea because they weren't supposed to meet until the very, very end.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, I got to know what he looks like. We got to like be able to meet before this happens and have a whole interaction before the very, very end. So apparently this was her idea.
So she figures it out quick into the conversation, and she pokes the bear like, you're repulsive.
She's like, fuck you.
Yeah. And he's all, well, your husband betrayed us both.
Well, I feel like she was awfully squirrely because she has not been properly apprised of the situation at hand.
For sure. So she was caught off guard. Like,
right.
She doesn't know what to expect.
If he would have told her or showed her what he had done to another human being, perhaps
she would have been a little more cautious.
But she reads his ass because fuck you, that's why.
And so Danny comes out and she's like, go back in.
Don't come out here.
He takes off.
Right.
So Kersek catches Sam leaving work and is like, oh, by the way, Max totally made me.
Yeah, he's been made. And he was like, he was reading Nietzsche at the library.
Yeah, and he's like, but I could hire some men to do a hospital job on him.
Right, little fuck him up. And Sam's like, no, I can't.
I can't operate outside the law. The law is my business.
I will hire them. Like, you're not going to hire them. But yeah, law is my business. Blah, blah, blah. And then back there at the house, Sam finally... Or no,
Sam comes home and Leigh's shaking, baking some chicken with extra pepper.
Oh, that's right. She's like, he was here today.
And Danny gets a call on her Swatch phone from Max.
From the new drama teacher.
I'm your new drama teacher.
Sure, and he's immediately...
I'm just calling to greet my summer students. And she's like, oh, you sound
really?
Down. Is there something I can do for you?
Well, it's just like my parents.
Oh, you can use that negativity.
Use
in
it.
life and in drama class. And then he's hanging upside down.
I know. He's like
during
Batman.
This whole conversation.
I'm a do-right man. He's listening to Aretha.
You could trust me. I'm the do-right man. And now they messed up at this part because when she started to think he was sexy, she took her retainer out.
Right.
And she doesn't put it back into the end, but there is a shot where she smiles and she's wearing the retainer between the two. Messed up. Scorsese. So he's like, oh, class ain't in room, whatever now. It's moved down to the theater.
It's in the theater. So,
So the next day, Mom wants to walk Danny into school, but she's like, no, I got it.
And there's a lot of kids at summer school.
Right? It seems like just a regular day of school. Town. There should have been like 50 kids there in a small town.
Right.
Because even living where we live, there was maybe 150 there for summer school.
Because I went to summer school and there wasn't that many kids at summer school. And this is a real small town.
So anyway, and they have drama class in summer school? Wait a second.
I don't know.
That's only for mandatory class makeup.
To take drama class in the summertime.
And she's in trouble.
Exactly.
And they don't do extracurriculars in the summer.
No.
It's math, English, science. Like you're making up credits.
That's what I had to do.
Okay.
All right.
But she goes down in the theater and ain't nobody in there.
It's like all the way down in like the boiler room.
And he's like on the stage in the fucking Hansel and Gretel cottage.
House.
Yes.
Counselor's daughter.
Like, hello. And he sits down in a chair inside and lights up a joint.
You can't do that in here.
Oh, am I busted?
Oh.
And he offers it to her and she's like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, I think we're alone now.
Doesn't seem to
He got to her Tiffany sensibilities because that's what a 1991 girl was thinking. He knows Tiffany.
He went to the mall
Oh, he's cool. And so she takes a hit and he's like, oh, let me put this out. And he puts it out on it. Is that sexy to put a joint out on your tongue?
I don't know.
Thank you. I don't want to make out with you now. You taste like a fucking
like
burnt ashes.
Ew.
Gross. But she's impressed.
Well, this is where she did develop a crush on him.
18-year-old. And now, tell me real quick, how old was Robert De Niro? I know Juliette was 18, but he had to be what, late 40s, early 50s?
I don't know. He just looks like that.
He's looked like that since he was 25 years old. I do not know.
35.
He had his teeth purposely fucked
Yes.
up by a dentist.
He paid $5,000 to get his teeth fucked up.
Really?
And then after the movie was over, he paid $20,000 to get them fixed again.
What the fuck? That's acting is a crazy gig.
I
man.
know.
It's a crazy gig.
I know.
Ooh, I accidentally just put all these plus signs in the middle of my notes because I
it's a
laid my hand down.
Gig.
He was 47.
He was 47, older than both of us.
Ugh.
With an 18-year-old, younger than, right in between my youngest and oldest kids. Gross. Gross.
Nope.
So, but no, Danny doesn't think it's gross.
Oh, there it goes.
She's like, oh, that phone call, it made me think
I
a
was
lot.
thinking a lot about.
And then he starts saying shit like he knows about her getting in trouble for weed and stuff. And she's like, wait a second.
Hold on. Who are you? Because he
You're
tells
not
her,
really
like,
my drama teacher, are you?
Well, they talk about authors, and he's talking about Henry Miller, what is it, Nexus, Plexus, and Sexus, and that description of a erection being a piece of lead with wings on it because she had snuck the Tropic of Cancer.
Oh,
off her
yes,
parents.
yes.
Like they have all these and she's like, I would not feel very comfortable having this conversation with a 47-year-old creepy man that's sitting in a gingerbread cottage. Like, that doesn't seem right to me.
And she's like, where are you from?
Right.
And he goes, oh, you going to get mad at me?
If I tell you.
She's like, no. He goes, maybe I'm the big bad wolf.
I'm from the Black Forest.
She's like, oh, you're the guy that's been hanging out around our house, the guy that killed my mom's dog.
Well, I didn't kill your mom's dog.
I just came to meet you and just like see if you're a nice person. I'm not going to hurt
make a
you.
connection.
I'm just searching for the truth.
Come on.
And he basically tells her she should resent her parents for being mad at her for smoking weed, which all they did was yell at her for getting caught smoking weed at school.
Yeah. Your 15-year-old daughter gets caught with weed in school. Like, what else are you supposed to do? Of course you're going to yell.
And of course, and then he's like, you thought about me last night, didn't you?
I did.
I know.
Oh.
I think I might have found a companion for that long walk through life.
Really?
47-year-old man.
It's going to be a lot shorter for you than it is for her. Well, I mean, I don't know.
You mind if I put my arm around you?
No, I don't mind.
And the Fabienne that she is.
I also want a piece of cheese on my pie.
And he starts touching her lips. And he puts his thumb in her mouth.
So I read either he ad-libs sticking his thumb in her mouth or she ad-libs sucking it. It was one of the two.
He was supposed to put it in and she wasn't supposed to be into it.
It was one of the two or both.
But she does.
She sucks on his thumb.
Twice.
Like a little Fabienne baby.
And he kisses her and touches her face and walks away.
And then she's like,
ew. And it's like, wow, you were really...
Well, like, what did he do? Fucking hypnotize her?
Right?
He got, like, snake eyes?
Snake eyes.
Snake eyes.
Jungle Book.
Right? Like, caw. Trust in me. Just in me.
So cut to Sam on the phone with Kersek. He got to my daughter at school.
Came at my daughter today.
And now, but she doesn't want to talk about it. She said he came at her, but she won't say what happened.
There's a lot of people not talking about stuff.
So Sam goes and finds Katie in this restaurant and is like, look, if you don't leave my family alone, you're going to be hurt.
Is that a threat?
And we find out later. And like what? He just hooked up to record at all times?
I know.
What?
He's got a little thing in his little sailor hat or what?
He's like, oh, you think you're better than me? I could have what you have. I'm going to teach you commitment. I'm going to save you.
I do think I'm fucking better than you.
And he tells him to read this certain part of the Bible.
Between Esther and Psalms, which happens to be the book of Job.
Which is the only part of the Bible I've ever read, and it was because it was a school assignment, and that's the worst passage of the Bible to tell a kid who isn't sure if they believe in God. To read out of the Bible because then you're like, fuck God.
Yeah, like I don't want nothing to do with that shit. God's a fucking dick. Hey, kill your kids.
Right?
And shit.
And like get boils and lose your wife and lose all your crops and lose all your shit.
But I still love God. That's like the Gods of Ray Pruitt. The chapter of
Push
Ray
you down
Pruitt.
the stairs? What?
Yeah, he's an abusive boyfriend. He's like, hey.
God, the abusive boyfriend, Ray Pruitt
do
chapter.
some fucked up shit.
To the movie though, where it's like it's their own damn fault because they didn't listen.
Right.
Well.
So Sam goes home and checks in with Danny, who's listening to her Walkman. Danny whispers in her Walkman. And she tells him it's not going to work to hide us from the world, Dad.
I know, you can't
And
just
she's-
keep us locked up in here.
As she lies on her bed in
With
her
her
bikini panties and tank top with
Did
her
you see her little
curtains
Cure poster?
open. Yes.
She got her Cure poster and her Megadeth poster in there.
Oh my God. And she's like, he didn't force himself.
I know.
on
And
me.
he's like,
And he ends up fucking
grabbing
her by the
like,
face.
Did he touch you? And it's like, okay, that wasn't the right move.
That was not
but,
the right move. No.
You're really pissing me off
But
right
she's over
now.
there giggling and smiling about this
15-year-old.
dude. Yeah.
Seriously, this old
Wipe that
rapist
smile off your face.
that's been stalking us. I'm kind of hot for him, Dad.
And she's like, get out. So she's been more upset by her own father trying to protect her than she's been upset by the actual rapist that's coming for her.
Yeah.
So cut to Max in his convertible and captain's hat again.
Oh, with the bumper stickers, the VIP on Earth, and I'm a VIP in heaven, and the oh, is that right outside?
Uh-oh, the siren stopped right outside.
I know.
Do we need to be nosy? We got to get our
I
glass
know,
cravats on. Need a
Look,
window
you
in
live
this
out in the middle
garage.
of nowhere now, and it's
I know, I
all
don't hear
this, a
shit. I'm
busy
like, there ain't no sirens.
busy situation over here at my house. So anyhow, his fucking bumper stickers and that American by birth, Southern by the grace of God with the Confederate flag, which is an
my
interesting
Lord.
choice.
Okay. And this is where he gets jumped. So Sam has given the go-ahead to Kersek to get these dudes to jump him. But why is Sam hiding behind a dumpster watching?
Right, because first of all, these three big dudes get out and they start beating the shit out of him. But then
Max starts beating the
he
shit out of
beats
him
the
right back.
shit out of them, and he fucking ends up winning this fight. And this motherfucker, stupid ass Sam, who should probably be working on an alibi at this moment,
Right? Be at home with your wife and child.
be visible somewhere else that this is not happening, so they cannot connect this shit to you because they're already on to you. And he's out there hiding behind a dumpster. Counselor? Counselor.
Is that you?
Come out.
Wherever you are. And he's like, because he kicks something all loud behind the dumpster.
He knocks over a bunch of shit because now he's like, oh, fuck. The three dudes did not fuck him up. Like, he's winning. I got to get out of here. So he knocks over some shit. He hears that he's there and he's like, you know what? Fuck it.
Could you be there?
Would you be there? Won't you be my neighbor?
I wonder if you're there.
There to Sam be.
Oh, I guess it don't matter. And then he just turns around and walks back.
I
to
know.
his
He's
shit.
like, fuck it. Don't matter
And
if
I'm
you're
sorry.
there or
Did
not.
Sam shit his pants? He has to have shit his
Oh,
pants.
my God. Because
Hiding
where was he
behind the
going to
dumpster,
go?
right?
I didn't see where else. Was it like a... He shouldn't even have fucking been there. When you hire somebody to fuck someone up or
It's
kill
so
somebody,
you are
or
nowhere
whatever the fuck,
near
that
this
is
shit.
your opportunity to have an alibi elsewhere.
But no.
But no, this
dumbass.
dumb fuck. You should... He has been a prosecutor and a defense attorney.
For some 20 or more years.
Dumb.
Dumb.
Foolish.
Everybody is the bottom of their class.
I guess.
So Kersek calls Sam at work the next day, and he's like smoking now. Sam's fucking
he's like
chain
now
smoking suddenly.
Right. He's pacing up there with Leigh.
And so Sam calls someone to help him get a restraining order against Max, but there's a conflict because Mr. Cady retained my services yesterday.
He finally calls Leigh Heller. He gets in touch with Leigh Heller, who Kersek suggested this guy. He knows,
but
what's
he waited too long.
But he waited too long. Oh shit! I can't do it. Cady hired me yesterday. In fact, he called me this morning, so I figure we're going to talk about it. I'll hear all about it when he tells me.
So at court, Max has a recording of Sam from the restaurant
Duh.
threatening him with harm.
Duh.
And he's all fucked up. Like, he's extra fucked up.
I know. He's like beat to shit.
Yeah. He's all taped up.
Right.
Cast
Oh,
and
yeah.
all this
And
stuff.
he's doing like the whole... He's probably milking it a little bit.
So the judge grants a restraining order, but it's against
it's
Sam
against Sam
protecting Max.
Yes.
He's got to stay 500 yards away. And Gregory Peck's like, yes.
King Solomon himself could not have. I say.
He turns into fucking Foghorn Leghorn.
I mean, I know they're in North Carolina. Is that where Foghorn Leghorn is from? North Carolina. North Crackalacky? That's Yosemite Sam.
Oh, speaking of North Carolina, we got listeners there. If you guys haven't helped out anybody in North Carolina, they got hit by them. Florida too. Got hit by them hurricanes. Donate to some shit.
Well, now it's been a hot minute now.
Well, Florida got another one. Oh no, now because we're now in November. Fuck.
November now.
Yeah, there might be another one because now it's fucking winter time. So pay attention to this natural disaster shit.
We should never fucking said anything because now
I know it's probably a month past by the time this comes out.
Well, now we're responsible for whatever comes next.
And Gregory Peck has petitioned to have Sam disbarred on top of everything
I'm
else.
also going to get you fucking disbarred because this is not the way that you act. Ouch-cha.
So Sam goes to Kersek for a gun.
Right. He's like, now I want a gun. He's like, whoa.
First he's like, oh, well, let's see what fits you. 38 snub nose special.
sure.
I'll take you out to shoot some trees. Then he's like, wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't get you a gun because, you're going to get 15 to life if you shoot Max Cady.
But if he breaks in.
And he thinks you're going out of town and leaving your wife and child home alone, he going to break in.
And if he breaks in, you could kill him legally.
So they set a trap.
Uh-oh.
So Sam pretends to go on a solo trip. They drop him off at the airport.
He gets on the plane, or they think
Max
he gets on the plane.
Checks with he does this sob story to the.
He's there.
No.
They just know that he's gonna follow. So he goes into the clerk or whatever, talk about this sob story. Oh, my wife, he's my lawyer, blah blah blah. I need to know when he's gonna be back if he's on that plane.
And she's like, oh, he'll be back the day after tomorrow.
Thank you.
So the Wagoneer pulls back up to the house. Dad's hiding in the back.
And they do not do a very good or sturdy job. Like, lights are on.
Oh, yeah.
The windows are wide,
just uses fishing line tied to a teddy bear.
Motherfucker, what am I paying you for?
And how much is he paying him for all this shit?
Too goddamn much.
So Danny goes up to her room. They set up this fishing line security system. Right. Kersek waits up with his gun, watching this bear while they sleep.
It's all very tense. The tension ratchets.
And Sam stays up smoking and reading the Bible passage about the book of Job that he told him to read.
That's what he tells her, that's what he was trying to tell me. And Danny wakes up for a nightmare.
But nothing's happened. It's morning. Kersek takes down the fishing line every morning.
I don't know what is like. He never sleeps.
No,
Kersek is
he does
geeked
not
out
sleep.
like a motherfucker because he never fucking sleeps.
And Danny goes out. She gets home from school. The housekeeper's there. She picks up that potato chip delivery, which my babysitters used to get that tin can of. What is it? Charlie's chips.
Oh no, I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called. It was a potato. No, it's potato chips, and it used to come in a big tin can, and I think it was called Charlie's chips. But the people who used to babysit me would have that can on top of their refrigerator, and inside was like the brown bags, not paper bags, but remember when chips came in a brown plastic bag?
Yeah.
And it would have different flavors of chips in it.
Oh, like the popcorn, but not.
But yes,
popcorn.
Exactly. But they don't do that anymore. I haven't seen
I've
delivery
never
potato chips.
That's a new one on me.
But yeah, she picks up the chip can, and there's a copy of
Henry Miller's
under there.
under there, and she's like, "Ooh!"
She hides it up under her shirt. Ooh!
And they sneak back inside. So now Sam is getting cold feet about killing.
Yeah, he doesn't know if he can kill a man.
How I could just kill a man.
So they set up the trap again that night, and the housekeeper has to stay over because when he's gone, the housekeeper stays over.
Graciela should just raise your voice, ma'am. Get the fuck out of there. They do not pay you enough for this shit because
I guarantee in 1991 she'd make it $5 an hour.
If anything.
If they weren't just like,
you get to use their water.
You can wash your clothes in our washer.
Right?
You can take a shower here.
But yeah, they got her fucking. If Sam was out of town, Graciela would normally stay.
And what? She's the man of the house when he's out of town? Like, what? Is she security? Why does she stay when he's out of town?
She's not paid enough for this shit because she's on edge. Graciela
she's dropping shit. She's like,
she does not want to fucking be there.
No.
They could have snuck her out.
Yeah.
They were sneaking folks back and forth. They could have snuck her ass out.
So Kersek's waiting up, and he sees that bear move, and he snaps into action. But it's just a loose window.
It's
just
windy out. Yep.
And Sam wakes up with a weird feeling that Cady is already in the house.
Right. He was like, wait a minute. I feel like...
I had this feeling like he might have already got in here. Like, that's how he
poisoned the dog. I feel like how he killed the dog is because he was already in the... Calls are coming from inside the house.
And Kersek, all cash, goes into the kitchen to talk to the housekeeper.
Right. Graciela, he's in the kitchen. He's telling some fucking stories about his pop.
But guess
and he's
what?
Drinking fucking Jim Beam and Pepto.
Oh. But guess what? That ain't Graciela. That's Maxiela. She got the piano wire ready to garrote you.
Right. Oh, and he fucking... It's not a garrote because there's no little
yeah.
twisty
So he
thing.
just like
he strangles him and like cuts him up with the fucking piano wires.
And he makes him shoot himself in the head. He's what? He's got some sort of... He had some sort of thing to hold it.
Oh, did he? I didn't know.
I think he did wrap it around like some wood things or whatever.
Maybe it was a garrote.
And he makes him shoot himself in the fucking head from like... choking himself, and he's holding the gun in his hand.
I thought he was just firing off a warning shot to warn.
Well, no, I mean, like, I think he was probably trying to shoot to warn them, but like he pulled his hand to like shoot himself in the head.
Maybe.
And he blasts brains all onto the ceiling. and all over his face.
It's a mess. Well, I thought he was bleeding all that shit from the piano wire.
No, he shot himself too. He like shot that shot, and it like blasted blood everywhere. So I don't think that was just from the piano wire. So Sam's calling down like, Kersek, what's happening?
Yeah, because there's gunfire now, and he's like, what happened? Whatever. And this staircase.
I know, it's so
the staircase, like it's all just the tension. It's all dark down there, and oh fuck, let's go, let's all look. And Leigh sees Cady running
away from the property. So they go down and find Kersek in this pool of blood, and Graciela is
also dead. Danielle sees this,
and now she finally takes this shit seriously.
Oh
my god, it's so terrible. It's like, yeah, we tried to fucking tell you, stay away from this dude.
Fucking dumb.
And like, and this part right here, number one. Okay, yes, I know you noticed earlier your piano wire was missing, and yes, that is your piano wire. You look at it with your eyes and walk away.
Crime scene all up.
For some reason, Sam decides he needs to physically touch
better.
The piano wire around this man's throat. And he slides all in this man's blood.
And then they just
like a fucking Looney Tune. Like ridiculous. And Leigh comes over trying to help, and she slips all in the blood. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Why I oughta.
Right? What is happening? And then they just leave the crime scene. So now his fingerprints are on the piano wire from his piano in his house.
Yep.
His footprints and fingerprints.
2 dead bodies, puddles of blood.
He's covered in blood. Right. And they just leave the scene and they go rent a houseboat.
Yep. No, it's just theirs, isn't it? They don't rent it.
I feel like they rented it. He got the keys from someone else. He didn't just go out on the lake. I think he went up to a little place and got the keys.
Maybe they had a lake house, because I feel like they were talking about it earlier. Like we could just leave and go to the whatever.
So Sam calls back to Lieutenant Elgart.
Yes.
Like, oh, by the way, you're going to go to my house and find a fucking murder scene, and I know it looks real bad, but it's
this act of God. And all bets are off, so we bailing. We're out of here. We're fugitives now. I don't give a fuck.
So they get in the car, and guess who's holding on underneath?
It's a good thing he was doing all them press-ups in prison, because he's like...
How long of a drive was this
I mean, he's like belted, but he also has to hold. And I feel like that Wagoneer was lifted.
For it to be enough room for him. But that was some scary shit. I looked under a car for a while after this shit. Like,
I know. Well, I always do because of ankle cutting.
Oh, like Pet Cemetery?
Well, like Pet Cemetery, or also Urban Legend, that happens there too. Or check the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
You got to check the back seat, because you never ever know.
Yeah, check under your car for Max Cady.
He might be there. Check your back seat for anything else. Check your vents for tombs.
So they get to Cape Fear.
Next exit.
I'm so scared. Let's go to Cape Fear.
Right?
Why is this a place that's your go-to place?
I get it. It's a family place, Nicole.
So they get this houseboat, and this poor woman that watches Max unbelt himself from under their car,
Miss
and she's like
Esther
watering plants, and she's like,
and
"What
did
the fuck?"
he not like look and see when he was getting out from under? Like, if are
Whether
there feet?
anyone was nearby? He
Sure.
didn't give a fuck.
No, apparently not.
So he rents a speedboat and follows them down the river.
Which
you never see him in.
No,
You see him get the keys,
right,
and then bam, he's on their
and
boat.
how did he? It would have had to have been like a row your boat, because he'd have a like brah, brah, and
Right?
there
They
was
didn't hear
nobody
him?
out there. I don't know,
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
little bit of a plot hole
Mr.
here.
Scorsese.
And also, there was apparently no weathermen in 1991 because these fools rode a houseboat out
Straight
into
into a
storm
fucking- yeah.
country
It's just a little squall.
and just anchored that shit down just
Right.
wherever
We're gonna wait it out in the night. There's food for a week. We'll be
in the
fine.
spooky ass swamps of fucking, I guess, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know where they went.
I don't know.
Where's
Is
Cape
that-
Fear? Is it a real place?
It is a real place, but that's not what the exit for Cape Fear looks like. It's not like accessible from like an exit. You have to go somewhere and go somewhere.
The beaches in North Carolina are swamps.
Oh.
So yeah, so he goes out, like everything's cool, whatever. They have their little dinner in the houseboat. Mom's smoking in the houseboat.
She's smoking everywhere.
Yeah, she is. And Sam decides, oh, it is? Okay,
Okay.
Cape Fear is really on the coast of North Carolina.
All right.
Yeah, that's probably not very swampy.
So Sam goes out to check that the boat is tied up proper and takes the gun.
Yes.
And they're like calling
It
for him.
gets
and he
quiet.
can't
Like
hear
they're like,
them.
"Where are you at?" He's like, "Oh, I'm out here. I'm just checking some shit." But
Max is already on the goddamn houseboat.
he just gets pulled. He pulls his
pulls
ass
him up
right
by the
up.
chin up onto the roof and chokes his ass out.
Wow.
He ties him up. He cuts the anchor rope, and now they're loose in the river.
Yep. And he comes to their window.
Evening, ladies.
Ah!
And so Danielle's like, he's like, oh, what'd you think of
I
that?
told
Did you bring your
you-
copy of
Well,
Sexist?
he was like, I told you can't run away from your problems by leaving town. She's like, I didn't.
My parents
brought
made me.
And her
Yeah.
mom is like,
You little bitch.
what the fuck? He's like, where's your copy of Sexist?
Oh,
I left it
memorized
at home,
parts
but I
for you."
memorized parts for you. And again, her mom's like,
What?
what the fuck is going on here?
Oh, yeah, what part?
The good part.
You know what part?
You know what parts. Talking about boners, you know.
So she throws a pot of boiling water at him, and he does not even flinch.
No,
It's like nothing.
I mean,
Are you offering me something hot? And he lights his flare and holds it in
I
his
know, he
hand
was
as he
like-
tells them this story.
my daddy fucking handled serpents. My grandmama
Drank
drank
strychnine.
strychnine, so I have a
high pain
advantage
tolerance,
or whatever.
whatever.
And yeah, and he holds on to this flare. What?
They came back for the houseboat.
Oh, the sound. Oh, the cricket came back
it
for
did.
the houseboat.
It did.
So he shows them he can handle the hot melting
Right.
parts
It
of a
doesn't matter
flare.
to him.
And then he throws it out the window.
We'll see about that.
And he puts Danny in the hold.
Yeah, get in the hold.
He's coming for Mama.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to fight him off. Danny's looking for a weapon in the hold. And Sam finally wakes up and sees Max all up on
Like
his
about
wife.
to rape his wife, and she's going for the gun.
Right. She's
And
trying to
he's
get the
like,
gun out of his
"Oh,
waistband.
ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba."
And in the hold, Danny finds a bottle of lighter fluid and stuffs it down her pants.
Right, she's looking for something to help to do something. Like she's actually thinking for the first time in her fucking life, apparently.
And so he feels her reaching for the gun, Mama reaching for the gun, and
Yeah,
stops.
and
And
he's
he
like,
drags
"Oh,
Daddy
never mind."
back inside by his hair
Right.
and takes Danny back out of the hold.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam's trying to get him to leave them out of it. Like,
Right,
whatever
like,
you're going to
just-
do it to me.
Do it to me. Well, no, that's what Leigh says, right?
Right. Well,
Isn't it?
yeah.
Where
First,
she's
he's
like,
trying to get them to leave him out of it, and then he stomps on his
Right.
head, and then Mom's like, "Well, actually, no. Whatever you're gonna do, leave them
just
out
do
of
it
it."
to me.
Because she's like, "I think about you all the time."
Right, and we have
What it
a
must have been like for
connection,
you.
and he's like, okay.
Oh yeah. Well, this will be even better for me now because I'm about to rape both y'all. and make
Right,
your
we're
husband
gonna do all
watch.
this stuff because really, he's just a rapist. It's
Yes.
not like all of this fucking bullshit is bullshit. All of this.
And so he spits out his stogie butt on
He
fucking
takes
Dad's
a big
face,
old bite out of his turd cigar.
hawks it at his face,
Right.
And as he lights it up, Danny pulls that lighter fluid out.
And lights him up. Ah!
But unfortunately, they're on the river during a rainstorm.
Right.
So he immediately gets out.
He jumps out into the water, and they're like, oh, good.
But now your boat's adrift in a storm.
Right.
And Max is, of course, still alive.
Yes, he gets back on deck as they're trying to get this whole thing back together. And
he's there with his melted face.
He's all fucked up. He's like, we're going to have a trial.
And no one is manning the boat. It's just wildly going through the storm.
Well, that's what Sam tells him. He's like, look, no one's manning the boat. Like, we have to get somebody to do something or else we're just adrift. And he's like, sell out to God.
Your country.
Yeah.
And so he basically gives his whole high and mighty speech about, even though, I'm an actual rapist and assault.
Right. But
I've assaulted people.
Done.
But it's the law.
Shut up.
You had to say she was promiscuous.
Shut up.
And he tells him, just because she was promiscuous doesn't mean she deserved to be raped.
Right. She's a 16-year-old girl.
Okay, so what if you consensually slept with her? Sure, I guess we could argue that. But,
fine.
you also beat the shit out of her.
Right.
So,
the pictures horrified me.
Yeah. So he's like, I sentence you to the 9th circle of hell. You'll learn
circle
about
of
the loss of freedom and humanity. Take your clothes off. Get on your knees.
Betraying your fellow man. Get your clothes off. Go and get.
Yeah.
Go and get.
You're going to learn to live like an animal and die like one.
Oh.
But then the boat fucking hits a rock.
Duh.
And I don't know. Did you look up how they filmed this? Because that looked wild.
It was on a tank, in a tank on a sound stage and
people
whatever.
Be flipping over shit.
It took 4 months. Or not 4 months. I lied. 4 weeks. It took
to film
a month. It took 4 weeks to film all of this on
it was wild.
Big old water tank and a sound stage.
So everybody gets thrown around. The boat's in a whirlpool. The family gets out and jumps into the river for some reason.
Well, because that's probably safer than being on the goddamn boat.
I guess
with
at
Max
this point.
Cady.
But
and
Max catches Sam right as he's about to jump off.
Right, but he manages to handcuff him.
Handcuffs Max's ankle to the boat.
Right, now he's stuck, but now he's firing wildly.
Yeah, just wildly shooting this gun.
Right. And now they're fighting. It's all fucking, it's a whole
gun
situation.
flies out of his hand. The boat hits more rocks and capsizes and just turns
collapses.
into
it's like a toy.
It becomes the house in Poltergeist at the end, how it folds in on itself.
Imploded.
Yeah.
It did.
So he jumps off. He's washed ashore. Max is still alive, still handcuffed to part of the boat nearby.
And they're staring at each other,
Well, first he tries to beat him to death with a rock.
That's right, with the rock. He lifts the big old rock, but he's washed away.
And then he's just singing.
Speaking
in tongues.
Glory to God. Hallelujah.
And then just nose down water and just those eyes.
Right,
he's looking at him as he dies.
Mumbling and choking on water as they're whatever. And Sam sees the blood on his hand.
Oh, he's got to wash it off.
But then he sees Max. No. But it's not him.
No.
It's just the clean hands. But will they ever be clean?
Never.
Never again.
So Mom's
really, you should probably feel pretty fucking good about that.
Right? You're okay. Be fine with it.
You're
fine.
Is good. Your family is, well, you don't know yet, but your family's safe.
But yeah, Mom and Danny are nearby. They wake up on shore.
Face down
he
in
finds
the mud.
them.
They all get together and
the narration is Juliette Lewis talking about how we never talked about what happened. They not with each other.
Really?
Remembering what happened or what he did would mean letting him into our dreams.
I don't dream about him much anymore.
Things won't ever be the same as they were before he came.
But that's okay.
Because if you hang on to the past, you die a little every day.
And
I'd rather live.
The end.
She whispers, the end. Come on now.
Ba, 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 ba.
And then she does not a very similar character, but this could totally be the progression in a way.
Right? She turns into Mallory
Well,
Knox.
except for Nick Nolte was in no way a Rodney Dangerfield character.
No, but maybe that's what she thought was going on in her mind.
That was what her teenage brain was telling her, how bad her home life was.
Jessica Lange was Edie McClurg, and fucking Nick Nolte was Rodney Dangerfield in her mind.
Oh my God. So yeah, I don't know what this movie doomed me to do other than look under my car before driving and
be smarter than that.
Don't go on houseboats.
Oh no.
And don't let 47-year-old men put their thumbs in your mouth. Or anybody. Don't let people put their appendages in your mouth unless you know them.
I really thought
and
he
you
was
know
gonna
where it's
pop
been.
Out her retainer.
I really did. I felt like I told you I wish he would have made the sound.
I know, like that. Oh wait, I can't do it. Hold on.
I was really hoping he was going to pull his thumb out and do that pop sound out of her mouth.
Lollipop, lollipop.
Or have her retainer on the end of his thumb like, oh, do you need this? Right?
Gross.
Oh, gross. But no, I did not find Robert De Niro attractive.
No, I did not. No, that did not do it for me. That was a nightmare.
So here's the beginning of your month of nightmares.
Yeah,
we've got 4 more to come, I think, right?
I know.
Isn't this
I think
a 5 Saturday month?
Saturday month. So it's a long nightmare.
Long nightmare.
And every one of them is more nightmarish than the last.
Ooh.
Than the last.
So give us a call. 702-720-DOOM.
Give us a call.
Leave us a voicemail. Send us a text message. Join our Patreon. Patreon.com/Doom Generation. Follow us on the socials. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're on all of them.
Should.
Cricket says Doom Generation, Doom Generation, Doom Generation.
That's what it's saying.
Like, subscribe, rate, review, and until next week.
We'll talk to you next time.
Later, Doomers.